know you touched on talking about some of the young individuals in the field and what it takes to get to your level and be one of the best in the business. Would you give any advice, or would you have any advice to share with someone looking to get into the industry and those that are in the industry looking to take it to another level?
Yeah, I think so. I think first and foremost, you've got to have energy, and that sounds, that sounds, yeah, right, whatever. But pretty much you've got to be working 12 to 14 hours a day, and you're doing it. We very rarely get a day off here at Manchester United, so we're working. If we get one day off a month, we're quite lucky. So you've got to have the energy to sustain yourself throughout the season. That's first and foremost. Secondly, like I said, I think, if you want to be a fitness coach, you've got to get, they talk about the 10,000 hour rule, and elite athletes and elite musicians need 10,000 hours. Well, so do we. There's no fast track to being a fitness coach. I think it's just hours on task. And going back 15, 20 years ago, I think, working as a coach and even working with young athletes, just picking up things like how to organize a session, what to look for in a session, how to plan a session, and so on and so forth. And that, anybody that's looking to get into the industry has got to know the basics of group management, of planning, and so on and so forth. But, hours on task is so important, Robert, and, it will take 10 to 20 years to get to where you want to be. So having the energy to do that, having the opportunity to put the hours in, certainly. And the other thing is, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, I mean, in this country, we're running thousands of courses and, hundreds of degree courses in sports science year in, year out. So you can imagine the number of candidates that are coming through, real good, bright people, young people that they've got great potential, but that they've just not really got the contacts to get in the game. So it's very important if you are in the industry to network. I think it's imperative that that you show willing and enthusiasm to go on courses, to just write to people in strength and conditioning positions, and offer yourself up. I mean, we had one guy that was here that offered to work 6 months free, and that shows a level of A, enthusiasm, and B, desire to work with athletes, and that goes a long way. So you got to be prepared maybe to put the hard graft in, but also really work hard at creating a role for yourself. So them kind of things stand out, and I think the other thing is really, because working in an elite sport environment, there are so many different roles and there are so many different sciences that are coming up. I think it's important as a practitioner that you identify a niche for yourself. So if you're passionate about strength and conditioning, be a strength and conditioning coach. If you're a hardcore sports scientist, that's what you focus on. And I think it's, like I say, do one thing really, really well rather than try to be all things to all areas, because the way the modern game's going, you just can't do everything, Robert, and I think that's important as well. So in a nutshell, it's having the energy, putting the hours in, networking, and identifying where your passion is and where you see yourself, really.
I think that's some really quality advice there, and I don't know what I can add to that. We have our interns here, and I really push for them to reach out on a daily basis, if not a weekly basis, and try to network. Obviously, they have to have passion, or they get booted out pretty quickly. I really do believe that there's a discipline that is involved in this profession that a lot of others don't necessarily need, and you can just kind of show up in some other professions. But here you really gotta bring your A game every single day. But I really appreciate you taking the time and giving us an opportunity to get a little insight into how you're doing over there and what you guys are doing. It's neat to hear a lot of the similarities. I think the nutrition, or the hydration scenario that you asked about, I think that's becoming more and more of a presence here. I don't think everybody at the college level is doing it, but there's definitely a lot of teams doing it at the pro level, and I think it's starting to trickle down into educating high school coaches and even into the rec leagues and those types of scenarios. So I think more and more people are starting to put an emphasis on that hydration scenario and trying to look for more information. So to answer your question there, it's becoming a bigger presence in our society over here. But I've actually worked with Team Australia and been in Europe and done consulting over there. And you guys definitely do a lot more hydration type preparation and education for your athletes. And I think it's one aspect of what American sports or American preparation is missing. So those higher level teams are using it, and hopefully it trickles down into our high school teams and junior high teams, and that becomes more of an emphasis down there. But again, thank you very much for taking the time out. If anybody had a question and wanted to follow up and get some more insight from you, how would they go about doing that?
Well, they can either contact me through Manchester United. They'll get me through the switchboard, or through LinkedIn. So, they can contact me either way. I'm always here if I've got time. I always like to give people time. And obviously I'll be over at stateside with their pre-season. So we have a trip in to Seattle. So I'm going to be in Seattle in June this year, and then we're going to Chicago and across to New York and Washington. So either through the club, Manchester United, or through LinkedIn, Robert.
Awesome. I actually know that I met you on LinkedIn, and we kind of just banged back and forth about, getting an opportunity to get on the phone and do a podcast. It was really smooth. I really commend you on your professionalism there, and I thank you very much for taking the time. It was very nice to get a chance to meet you. Good luck in the championship. Again, thank you for taking the time out, and I hope all is well.
Robert, thanks for your time. I really appreciate that. I really enjoyed that. Great fun.
Thank you. I look forward to keeping in touch.
Take care, Robert. Thank you.